Hello, everybody, and welcome back to My World with Nat, Relocation Concierge here in the Dominican Republic. I hope you are doing fantastic today. We are going in a little bit of a different direction today. I've had this guest on another show of mine called Noon with Natalie. I'm welcoming the lovely Jessica Cerato today, my friend and numerologist extraordinaire, to give us a little bit of insight on what 2022 has in store for us, really, when it comes to the numbers. And if you haven't been really the believer of the numbers, like I'm already sold, right? So I don't even need to explain that part. But Jess, what is it like? What does numerology really mean? And like maybe in one or two sentences of, if somebody's watching and wondering, is this a little woohoo?
Well, if you're thinking it's woohoo, it's science, right? Numerology was birthed by Pythagoras, this old mathematician.
Yeah.
And he, discovered, and I believe that numbers have frequency, numbers have
Yes.
vibration. And so if you're watching and you've ever seen numbers like 1111, or you notice numbers that mean something to you, or on different days, you
Yeah.
feel a different energy, that's all numerology is. And we all have our own unique numerology based on the date of our birth. But today we're going to talk about energy that we all feel. And it's out there. We just need to tap into our intuition with a little help from the numbers. And it kind of gives us context to what we are
Yeah.
already feeling.
Absolutely. So I
Yeah.
know you've already posted a few things about 2022 because I've caught them on social. Tell us or give us the insight of what this year represents in general, because just before we hopped on to record, we were talking about that there's a shift going on for sure.
Yeah. And it's actually these past 3 years kind of working together. So, my
Okay.
goodness. So 2020, well, let's think back. If we look at the numerological energy of 2020, it was the four. And the four is like this stability, structure, foundation. And that's when everything broke down. It wasn't working, and the foundation was ripped out from under us. Everything was broken down, and the lesson was safety and security cannot be built outside of ourselves. We go into 2021, and it's the five. 2 + 0 + 2 + 1. And it's this back and forth energy of, are we going to go back to the way things were, or are we going to move forward? Are we going to go back to the way things were? We're going to move forward. And it was really this sense of like waiting to see what happened, and a lot of this back and forth. And now, as
Mm-hmm.
we go into 2022, like, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of the ride. I'm sick of going back and forth. And
Yes.
right. And now I'm ready to come off. And this is where we are now. And we are in the year of alignment when we finally say, you know what? I'm going to do what matters to me. I'm going to find out where I am aligned. And there's a few places specifically that we
Yeah.
need to get aligned. And this is a new path forward. And everyone's path will be different in 2022, but it's about connecting with yourself first, really figuring
Mm,
out what you want, and
yes.
then going for it.
So do you think that in 2021 with that five going back and forth, some people decided like I'm just going to go forward and I'm right, and some
Exactly.
sort of stayed back, right? Because I feel like when we made the decision to do this, we decided like whatever that direction the five is going in, we decide we're going forward. We want to make a change, and that's what happened.
Yeah. The
So do you
five is
think?
about freedom and
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
But on the so this is every number has a positive, like an in the flow side, and
Yeah.
every number has kind of like an in the mud or a disempowered side. And the
Yeah.
empowered side of the five is freedom, change, moving forward. And the in the mud side is stuck in the past, resistant to change, wanting things to go back to
Mm,
the way things were. And then, of course, you have the middle where you're going back and forth between the going forward and the
yeah.
going back, right?
Yeah.
And I feel if everyone who's watching can identify with at least one of those states, either you made a change, you really were pulling back hard on the reins to not make a change, or you kind
Yeah.
of were back and forth. Um, and now is the year to really make the choice.
Mm.
but it's
It's
never
so,
final. Like, I don't know if you feel this,
and
but like, you make a choice and you can
yeah,
always choose again. And this is also
yeah,
what the 6 tells us, right?
yeah. I think that's the hard part, right? Like the choice that we made in 2021, there were other choices that had to be made because of those choices. So even for myself, this idea of starting a new part of my business it was easier for me. I've said this in other videos. It was easier for me to make this move here than think that, oh, I can have another business like that. I resisted for a while because it seemed so like, are you really? But once I sort of let go and said, yes, I'm going to do this, then it's like that tilt. I tilted forward.
You
I tilted
did.
forward.
And
Yeah.
what's so cool about your business and what you help others do is you just said it. You make one decision and then the other next right steps come into place. I'm going to show you a card here. This is the
Yeah.
6 in numerology. As soon as you make this one decision, what happens? The next one comes, and then the next one comes, and the
Yeah.
next one comes. And if you're here, you don't need to worry about what is up here. You need to
Yeah.
have all of the steps lined up. That is not what the 6 is about. The 6 is saying get aligned in what you want and take the next right step. And then once you are here, it's like a lily pad.
Mhm.
It'll come out to meet
Yeah.
you, and you just take the next right step. And I'm just so excited about what you're doing because, location and where you are in the physical world is one of the 4 pillars of alignment. So if we look at the cards and we have the
Yeah.
4 suits, alignment in hearts, alignment in your relationships, right? Alignment in
Yeah.
who you spend your time with. The clubs is all about your thought and your beliefs and your truth, alignment with that. The spades is all about alignment in the transformation. And the diamonds is
Mm-hmm.
what you're focused on, physical
Mm-hmm.
location. Now, for some people, this will be a relocation. You do not
Yeah.
feel aligned with where you are and you want to change locations. For others, like we were just talking about myself, I need to realign my space. I want to
Yes.
beautify my space so I feel more
Yeah.
aligned with the home that I am in because I still feel that's a possibility. But there may come a point when I look around and I say, I can't beautify this enough that I want to stay here. I'm no longer aligned. I need to move.
And I think one of the
Right.
things I'm going to jump in and I want to sort of, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and we talked about, so they said to me, oh, I watch you and I'm seeing what you're doing. And I so would love to do this idea of relocation. So I said, well, why don't you? And she says, well, my husband and he, is a homebody, he likes to stay here. And I said, well, hold on. And this is something I'm going to clarify today and in another video, but relocation doesn't mean that you have to give up your whole life and uproot and go somewhere else. Relocation means that you might want to just try it for a month, maybe for 2 months, right?
Yes.
And I get that excites me too, because I think people, I don't think I knew it in my head, but I had not verbalized it that you don't need to sell your home, sell all your things, storage and all of that to relocate. You might just want to do it for a month or two and try it because you want something different. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
I love that. And because
Yeah.
just taking to the numbers, the cycle goes from 1 to 9. So
Yeah.
6 is not the end of the cycle. And
No.
7 requires a change of direction. The 8, so there are things that come after this. But like you just said, like you make a decision. And you know what? Change, I feel, really takes humility. Because when we change our
Mm,
mind or when we do something different, it kind of implies that maybe what we thought before, or even what we said before, which is like sometimes worse, kind of
yes.
infers that we were wrong. But now this year, I'm like, yeah, I said that last week and I meant it. And now, you know what? I'm saying something different. And I mean this too. It's not a negative thing. It's just the having faith and losing the ego about what change can mean. And just like you
Yeah.
said, it doesn't mean once you change once, you can't go back. And I feel
Yeah.
with relocation, it's so funny. I was thinking about this before coming on and like, okay, I want to relocate, but what if it doesn't work? Then I'm going to have to admit, quote unquote, that I'm wrong and move back. But it's not like that, right? It's like
No,
the
it's not at all. And I
experience.
mean, even okay, I'm going to take that back. Even I at times have wondered, okay, are we going to stay? I really have, because, and I've had those feelings of, wow, that would have to me be meaning that, this didn't work out the way we wanted or we thought, or, and then kind of backtracking. But I always said from the beginning that we're going to go, we're going to try. If it doesn't work, we can come back, right? We have a host country. It's not like we don't,
Yeah.
we're not coming from anywhere. But it's that idea though. And that's, that's something you have to give yourself compassion for.
Yeah.
And but of course, since then, since my mother's told me it's -24, I'm really not interested in going back.
You're good. You're
I'm
good.
good. I'm good.
And I think that's what you like. It's when we feel those truth tingles. It's when we feel something in our body that we know to be true.
Yeah.
But our mind cannot work out the how. So we kind of stay in the indecision. And we're like, oh, like I feel this, but I don't know how exactly it's going to work out. So I'm scared and I'm just going to stay here. But this is where we reach out to with support, right?
Yeah,
like we
exactly.
reach out and we say, hey, I feel this. I don't know the how. How is like the biggest buzzkill, right? It's just kind of like, but then you reach out to someone who has the expertise and they can take you on these next steps, right? That is,
it's about going into action.
yes.
and not just sort of waffling in the idea. And yes, I know that you've worked with a lot of different people, and I'm sure those numbers reveal to people things that they are uncomfortable with. And unless they go into action, nothing will change. And I think that's what it boils down to, that this idea, I like that idea of the 6, because to me, it feels like that. What are those, those tires on it? Like they just rotate and you just be going up or across and going forward. And I know that for myself, the last, I think 10 days have just been, I feel like I'm rolling on the 6. I'm just moving forward as I'm getting more support with the videos and the YouTube channel and the feedback. It's like, oh, this feels good.
And this is your year. You're a ruling number 6.
I am
right?
a ruling. I was just about to say, I'm a ruling. I am a 6. That's right. So,
and so this is also a good point, right? Because depending on what our personal numbers are, the 6 might feel great, or the 6 might feel really foreign because we might not have any 6s in our personal numerology, but it doesn't mean that we can't harness the 6.
Yeah.
We actually, I would argue, should, because by harnessing an energy that we don't have personally, it challenges us and it grows, it helps us grow. And also we can show others and show ourselves what is possible. I firmly believe this, if it wasn't possible, you would not even be able to think it. Like anything that comes to me, right? The idea comes to me for a reason. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's possible. I might not know how yet, and it might seem
that's really
so
interesting. Okay,
but like,
I never thought about that.
How would I get the idea if I wasn't meant to get it, or that it wasn't possible? Yeah, right.
Okay,
but it's hard because you got to shut off your ego.
Oh, okay. So say that again. You said, if the idea comes to me, why isn't it possible?
Yeah.
Because it came to me. Yeah. Well, the same in the positive or the negative, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always the in the flow and the in the mud.
I like that, in the flow, in the mud. Okay. Any other insights you want to share?
I wanted to spend a minute on the 2022, because this is very significant.
2022, yes.
Okay, the 2022. It equals 6. Yeah. This is the energy of the year.
Yes.
But we haven't had 3 repeating numbers since 1999. And
I saw that this morning, yes.
And we will not have 3 repeating numbers again in our lifetime, right? It is not possible.
Okay.
Because we will all be.
Yes.
in another
Yeah.
lifetime by then, right? So, but what this
Okay.
means is you have the 2 and it's separated from the other 2s with a 0. The 0 in numerology is not a number, it is a symbol. And it is a symbol of amplification. And for me, it's like this mirror. You got to align with yourself first. You are your most important relationship, and you need to really, again, those 4 pillars of alignment, what it is that you want. And then once you are set there, it allows you kind of to look through the mirror or go through this kind of portal and go to the other 2 twos, which are about connecting with others to help you make it happen. And this is really important because the 2 is about connection, about intuition, about collaboration. And yes, we're meant to sort out what we want for ourselves, but we're not meant to do it alone. But the single 2 comes first.
Yeah.
Because otherwise what happens is you're influenced by others' opinions, and you might not do things that you want to do, or you might do things that you don't want to do. And it's really feeling strongly, allowing yourself time to discern first, and then kind of go with the others.
So if I just sort of summarize, so definitely choose yourself first this year.
Yes.
Right. And that means a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yes.
But you're not the first person to share that. I've heard other people say that as well. We're in year 6, so make sure that you flow. So if you're in the mud, and I think there's a self-awareness thing here. You have to be self-aware. And that's a hard thing to do. Takes a little bit of time. Takes a little time.
It's hard to say, literally, I am stuck in the mud. And I am stuck in the mud because I put myself here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the beginning. You're exactly right. That's the awareness. That's the beginning of the moving forward.
Yeah. So if anybody, if you have not had the opportunity to maybe have numbers read, I've worked with Jessica before, so it's something, it's a go-to for me, especially if I need clarity about something. And you would like to connect with her one-to-one, where do they get in touch with you?
You can come to my website where you can get a free reading right off the bat, and it's jessicacerato.com. You can also join me on Instagram. I think numbers can also be fun, and you can get a lot of free resources and guidance for the year by joining me over on Instagram. And my handle is jessica.cerato.
Not complicated at all.
No. Let's not complicate things more.
Let's not complicate things. So I'll drop those in the description so you'll be able to find that easily. And so if this has kind of piqued your interest in the numerology, but now you've also piqued like, relocation, short-term, long-term, reach out. Let's have a conversation. You can book a free discovery call. Doesn't cost a penny. Quick chat. Where are you at? Where in the thought process? Where is it you want to be? And what is the piece that's missing to get you to where you want to be? And then if that, is something that you think I can help you with, then we'll have a different conversation and make that happen.
That's so exciting. That is like my takeaway. That's my biggest takeaway from this call, right? It doesn't have to be permanent.
Oh,
right?
No.
The relocation definition. And the only way to figure out if it's for you or not is to explore. And it's just so cool. Like even this conversation's got my mind going, a little bit. So thanks for the discovery call.
No problem. Well, it's fitting. I mean, yesterday's conversation sort of almost was that sort of discovery call. It was a coaching call for me, and it ended up being sort of the beginning of a discovery call. But she really thought, oh, I have to give up everything and to move. And I was like, no, of course you don't have to give up everything. We had a friend stay with us for 2 months. She just relocated for a couple months, so.
Anything is possible.
Anything, oh my gosh.
And everything is possible.
Anything and everything is possible. Follow the 6 energy in 2022. If you want to know more about your 2022, reach out to Jessica. I know she will do wonders for you. Whatever you choose to do today, have an incredible day, and we'll see you soon on the next episode of Welcome to My World with Nat. Bye for now. Thanks, Jess.
Bye.